morning, everyone. Today, Saturday in San Antonio. It's a nice, cool, wet one. San Antonio's host to the, I don't know, what is it called? WWE Royal Rumble this weekend. Say hi. Yeah. Okay, so I haven't watched wrestling in 20 years, honestly. But just knowing that the event is coming here, it's pretty exciting. So San Antonio is officially hosting this weekend tonight. It's the fourth time. I think they're lead host. So the very first event that was hosted here was in 1997. I actually went to that one. Our parents took my brother and I. I was 9 years old. All right, so the Royal Rumble event is one of those unique matches where it's not just a one-on-one deal. You actually have 30 people that enter the ring. Back then it used to be every minute. I don't know if that's changed. There could be up to 10, 15 people in the ring at once. The point is to not get eliminated over the ropes. The last two standing will fight it out. The winner gets to fight in the next pay-per-view for the title. We are headed to the Alamo Dome because I heard they have the merchandise store and also memorabilia. And I saw pictures of the memorabilia, and it's stuff from back when I used to see wrestling back in the 90s. So that's what got me a little excited. So we're walking over. It's about a 1.5 mile walk. And then there's another event happening in one of the hotels. And I'm just going to go check it out, see if people are dressed up, and just have a good time. It's just me and Mateo this morning. All right, there's a Superstore leading us in that direction. All right, well, there's quite a line. I didn't think people would wake up this early, but I guess for an event like this, people do get up. I think what's cool about events like this is that if you're willing to talk to people, you'll meet people from different areas. Such the person behind me is from Philadelphia. We already got to talk, so that's pretty fantastic. All right, we're in. All right, so this is Rowdy Piper and some of his memorabilia. Wrestler from the late 80s into the 90s. It's cool to see interviews happening. All right, one that a lot of Latinos can associate with. He's been through so much. This is Rey Mysterio. He's been fighting in Mexico, in the US, and all over the world. Definitely one of the guys who invented, or not invented, but did a lot of flying stunts. Picture back there, you got the late Eddie Guerrero. Got a women's championship here. It's very cool to see a lot of memorabilia from the time I used to watch wrestling back in the 90s. Fortunately, it's very different now. Maybe it's just as fun, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but it's still very exciting to relive some of those times. Oh, who was not a fan of Rikishi? So you see in the picture, there's his robe. A big man. I think he's supposed to be here over this weekend. Obviously, here's The Rock. Everybody knows The Rock. Started wrestling. He was known as Rocky Maivia back in the early 90s, or 90s, late 90s. There's Triple H, later known as Triple H. Entered the scene as Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Famous sledgehammer. We're going even further back. This is Dusty Rhodes. Polka dot here. And his fur coat. Oh, look at that. Bret the Hitman's Hart. Actual jacket. One of the most popular Canadian wrestlers ever. Oh, Dusty Rhodes boots. Scott Steiner's known to wear that stupid Pharaoh's thing. Oh, with his partner. I didn't notice the sunglasses the first time. Look at that. As he's wearing them right there. There's Scott Hall. Later formed part of NWO. The Outsiders. Oh no, there's Kevin Nash and the Outsiders. So much history here. Oh, Harlem Heat. Oh, yes. Harlem Heat guys. Oh my goodness, look at how beat up those boots are. Obviously, Stone Cold, Steve Austin. Definitely left some of the most memorable moments in wrestling history. Kurt Angle, former Olympian, later transferred over into wrestling. I think he would have done well in MMA. And Bill Goldberg, who wasn't a fan of Bill Goldberg. And the Ultimate Warrior. I personally think this is the best era in wrestling. I think back there you're able to meet one of the wrestlers. I don't know who's back there at the moment, but I think you can get yourself a... Here's just a bunch of the different championship belts that they're selling. So this is Macho Man Randy Savage's monster truck hat. Look at that. So the monster truck show was actually here in San Antonio last weekend, so that's quite a coincidence. So look at the line, people. There's Macho Man wearing the robe. So I'm not a guy to take selfies, but this stuff's really cool, so I'm actually gonna walk around and see if I can take a couple with some pretty cool memorabilia. Some people are real committed to this stuff. It's pretty cool. Man, I really feel that if I don't have a wrestling belt on my shoulder, that I'm just not a part of this. It reminds me a lot of when we went to the medieval festival and we walked in and we were like the only ones not dressed. Yeah, the medieval festival was definitely a fun time. We hope to go back, but if you haven't seen that video, check it out. We'll post it on here for you to watch. Look at this, all the people. So there are the ringside banners. I cannot remember what year this was or if this was used several times, but it looks so familiar. I know I've seen it before, back in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. I think one of the coolest things about a sport or an event like this is that it brings people young and old together, loving one common thing. That's one of the coolest things you can see in this world, you know?
They're like a half a mile.
Wow, that was awesome. I mean, I didn't buy anything. I didn't get any autographs, nothing like that. I just really wanted to come and check out the memorabilia, the ambiance, the people. That is satisfying for me. Don't need to have physical things, but to see a lot of the sport's history, especially during the time that I was watching it, it's pretty awesome. Really takes me back to, you know, when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, when I was really watching these events and got to go to some. So we're actually on our way to the Marriott River Center where they're hosting Wrestle Con. Opens at 10 o'clock. Admission is free. Obviously, if you want any autographs and signatures and pictures with, you know, wrestlers, and you have to pay for that, but we're just gonna go check it out, see people dressed up, see some memorabilia maybe.
Hi!
Hi, people.
Hi, Papa.
Hey guys, so the reason we make these videos is simply to show you that our city, the 8th largest city in the US, is not a boring city. There's things to do, there's always events, tons of activities and parks. You know, there's a story, and maybe Blanca and I can talk about it, you know, in a future video. But Blanca wanted to leave San Antonio. This is before I even met her. because she said this place is boring, there's nothing to do here. But as time went on and as we, started to hang out and date, I started telling her and teaching her there's actually plenty to do here in San Antonio. You just need to explore and get out. So again, these videos are family friendly. If you're planning on visiting San Antonio, or if you actually live here but have that same mindset of it's a boring city, there's nothing to do here, let our past videos show you otherwise. So we hope 2023 brings us lots of events, lots of fun things to show you guys, and so we can continue to show you the amazing fun things there are to do in San Antonio and beyond, such as New Braunfels, Austin, Dallas, Houston. We love to travel when possible. You see the signs all over the city, all over downtown at least. All right, so there's the Marriott River Center where they're hosting WrestleCon. I think what I love about San Antonio hosting big events like this is that everything's so walkable. I mean, we just got from the house to the Alamo Dome, now to the hotel. I think that's why the Final Four and maybe the Royal Rumble continues to come back, because it's just so easy to get around. So we hit a line just like the Alamo Dome. Wasn't sure, but if you look up, there's a line up there. So yep, for sure we're gonna make our ways slowly but surely. So we finally made it in to WrestleCon, but it's a bit tight. So we're checking it out here. So you got a lot of cool people over there. It's got a lot of the toys. Oh, some of them are even signed. These must be a lot more recent. Oh no, there's Kane. I was gonna say some of them must have been a lot more recent, but here we got a lot of cool art pieces. Some of them are signed as well. All right, so back there's several wrestlers. I don't know if you can see any of them, but there's Diamond Dallas Page right there. There's Mankind. I think Hacksaw Jim Duggan's back there too. So I was honestly expecting a bigger room, bigger place. It's really small. There's like 2 shops in here, and then on 2 extremes you have wrestlers that are signing and doing autographs and pictures. So it's pretty cool, but it's very small. All right, WrestleCon was great in the sense that it had a lot of opportunity to meet some former wrestlers, some big ones in their time. The downside is that literally there was like one place to buy stuff, and everything else was really just to get the autographs and pictures. It's not a bad thing, but when you call it WrestleCon, usually con means convention. So I thought it was going to be one of the big ballrooms with lots of things to see. It's not quite a disappointment, but it's not what I had in mind either. All right, so when you got a big event such as WrestleMania or the Final Four, and if you're able to actually get tickets and go to the event, that's awesome. But if you're not able to, you really shouldn't be down. With such big events, there's always other events happening on the side as well. And usually a lot of them are free to get into. You may have to pay for several things, but there's never a big event happening where there's not smaller side events happening as well. So today, we're not going to go to the actual event tonight, but we still had a great time visiting the store and getting to see some wrestlers from the past as well. So I do encourage you in the future, again, if there's an event, see social media, online, if there's any other events happening that you could still feel like you are a part of the festivities. You definitely don't want to feel 100% left out, and you want to partake in something. So it's really cool to see some wrestlers that were from the era that really played a role, not a role, but they were really part of your life growing up, because this just was the normal thing to do. But as you see them, they might have made some money in that profession, but at the same time, it really did wear out the body, and some people, you go back and see how some have unfortunately been injured for the rest of their lives. and some have passed away due to unfortunate circumstances. So, you know, I definitely appreciate how they brought entertainment to my life, and I stop and also think of what they went through as well on a daily basis. The experience was great, but now it's time to head to the park, or we're arriving at the park so Mateo can play for a little bit before it's time to head back for nap time.